Imagine that your worst crime hasn't happened yet, but the police already know everything. The secret mathematics that decide your future before you are even born. The algorithm has already chosen who is going to jail tonight. You can be considered guilty of a crime you only thought about committing. The justice of the future doesn't want evidence, it only uses advanced statistics and probabilities. Imagine living in a world where crime is prevented before it even happens. There is a very famous movie called Minority Report that shows exactly this terrifying reality. In that fictional story, 3 people with mental powers predicted the future of the citizens. Criminals were arrested before pulling the trigger or committing any terrible act. This idea seemed completely impossible and far removed from our current technological reality. However, modern mathematics and computers have transformed this fiction into a hidden reality. Nowadays, we don't need people with special powers to guess the future. We have created powerful artificial intelligence software that does exactly this dark work. Predictive policing is already a tool used by many public security forces. Major cities in the United States and Europe feed computers with millions of data points. These systems analyze maps, schedules, police reports, and even local weather conditions. From this, the algorithm creates heat maps indicating where crimes are going to happen. Patrol cars are sent to these locations before any offense is even reported. Defenders of this technology say it optimizes the daily work of police officers. They claim that mathematics helps prevent violence very efficiently. But the truth behind these programs hides a much more disturbing secret. A computer has no feelings and cannot create data from absolute zero. It merely analyzes the past to try and guess how the future will behave. The big problem is that our past is full of prejudices and injustices. If the police have historically arrested more people in a specific low-income neighborhood, the algorithm will understand that this place is naturally more dangerous and violent. The machine then sends more police to that same already heavily penalized region. With more police circulating there, the number of arrests will inevitably increase. This creates a destructive vicious cycle where the system validates its own prejudice. Artificial intelligence does not eliminate racism, it merely automates human injustice. Many young people are stopped and searched just because they live in the area indicated by the software. They haven't committed any crime, but statistics say they are potential suspects. Cold mathematics transforms ordinary citizens into dangerous numbers inside a digital spreadsheet. This situation strips people of the basic right to be judged for their actual actions. You become monitored not for what you did, but for what you might do. This subtle change completely destroys the fundamental principle of the worldwide presumption of innocence. The use of technology goes far beyond sending patrol cars to specific neighborhoods. The justice system is using programs like COMPAS to decide on paroles. This software analyzes the prisoner's life and calculates a recidivism risk score. Judges look at this mathematical score before deciding who gets out of prison. A citizen with a high score remains locked up because the machine predicted their mistake. Independent journalistic investigations have shown that this system fails in a terrifying and cruel way. Black people received much higher risk scores than white repeat offenders. The machine learned the prejudices of past judges and continued applying the punishment. We are living in the era of the destitution of human power through statistical data. The most important decisions about our freedom are being delegated to closed codes. No lawyer can perfectly understand how the algorithm reached that final conclusion. The companies that create these programs guard the code as a commercial trade secret. A human being is condemned or kept in prison by a calculation that no one can audit. The digital bureaucracy has created an invisible wall where contestation has become completely impossible. You cannot argue against a number that the computer says is the absolute truth. There is a dangerous belief that mathematics is always neutral and completely fair. People tend to blindly trust reports generated by advanced artificial intelligences. We think machines are immune to the moral flaws that affect our society. However, algorithms are mirrors that reflect the worst characteristics of their creators. If the training data is corrupted, the final result will be equally unjust. The false neutrality of technology only serves to wash the hands of decision-makers. It is much easier to punish someone when the blame can be attributed to the computer. Imagine a common scenario of data-driven policing on the streets of Sao Paulo. The artificial intelligence determines that an avenue has a high risk of petty theft today. With this, the police dispatch sends 4 patrol cars to monitor that exact area. Naturally, with so many cops watching every corner, they end up finding some minor infraction. It could be an irregular car or even a person carrying light illicit substances. The system registers these small arrests and understands that its prediction was right. The next day, the algorithm sends even more police to the same monitored street. The machine thus creates a prophecy that will always fulfill itself by brute force. We don't know who is programming the algorithm that decides the fate of the population. Big tech companies sell these closed systems to governments around the world. They call these secret mathematical formulas intellectual property or business models. This means no ordinary citizen can open the code to look for logical flaws. Public power hands over social control to faceless private corporations. If an algorithm makes a serious mistake, the politician blames the software failure. The private company blames the quality of the data provided by local police stations. At the end of the day, no single person takes responsibility for the lives that were ruined. The predictive software is a clear example of this type of criminal prediction technology. It uses mathematical models similar to those that predict earthquakes on natural geological faults. The core idea is that crimes spread across the map like seismic aftershocks. But treating complex human behavior like a force of nature is a mistake. Earthquakes don't happen more frequently because there are scientists observing the local tectonic plates. However, recorded crimes depend directly on where the police decide to look closely. A wealthy neighborhood that isn't monitored never generates criminal statistics for the system. The algorithm ignores white-collar crimes and always focuses on poor streets. This system creates a climate of paranoia and deep stress in the affected communities. Young people grow up knowing they are being monitored all the time by invisible forces. The simple constant presence of hostile patrol cars generates tension and fear among residents. Any sudden movement on the corner can be interpreted as the beginning of a crime. People lose the peace of mind to walk freely through the neighborhoods where they were born and raised. The freedom to come and go is replaced by a monitored and provisional freedom. The social wind chill is that we are all prisoners released on bail. We live on parole temporarily approved by the state's artificial intelligence statistics. In several parts of the world, cameras with facial recognition are already actively looking for suspects. They cross-reference images of pedestrians with criminal databases in fractions of a second. The problem is that these technologies fail much more when identifying non-white faces. Innocent people have already been arrested and spent days in jail because of an algorithm error. When the police trust the screen more than reality, we are all in danger. The automation of suspicion transforms city streets into prisons of constant surveillance. There is no room for human error or redemption within this mathematical model. Your past is permanently recorded on servers that never forget your slips. Predictive policing creates an invisible social segregation through complex lines of code. Residents of the outskirts are marked with invisible scores that limit their life opportunities. If your address has a bad rating, the bank can deny your loan. Public security joins the financial system to map and control the vulnerable population. We are building a society of digital castes based entirely on behavioral probabilities. Freedom ceases to be a sacred right and becomes a variable score. You have to constantly prove to the system that you do not represent a threat to order. The great ethical trap is accepting the exchange of our freedom for false security. Many people agree with these methods because they believe they will never be targets of the machine. They think only real criminals will be affected by these predictive analyses. However, history shows us that control systems always expand their original limits. Tomorrow, the behavior considered suspicious could be your political opinion or your religion. When we hand over control to algorithms, we lose the ability to question the rules. The tyranny of data is silent, efficient, and extremely difficult to fight head-on. The future prophesied by sci-fi cinema is already happening all around us. Punishment before the crime is no longer a fantasy of movie directors. It is a silent reality that determines who receives opportunities or goes to prison. We need to open the black box of these systems before the control becomes total and irreversible. Technology should serve to liberate humanity, not to create new forms of slavery. We cannot allow cold statistics to replace justice, empathy, and human judgment. Mathematics is an incredible tool, but it should never have the right to judge us. Given all this, we need to reflect on the kind of society we are building today. How can we guarantee our freedom in a world governed by predictive spy algorithms?